Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a quick review of the AD20.5. But before we get into it, let's please subscribe. Please like the Facebook page, follow Instagram. I also do apologize, I'm still getting over a cold. Probably a cold from overworking. It is what it is. It's that kind of year that this often happens in my line of work. But we can go ahead and get into this. So this is an 20.5. Smaller than the 8020. Same style. Basically everything just shrunk down a little bit. Instead of about a 3.5 inch blade, a little 3.5 inch plus blade, you're getting a 3-inch blade, a little over 3-inch blade with 3 inches of cutting edge. And it is made in Taiwan. I prefer Taiwan over Chinese made when it comes to certain things. This is technically still a U.S. Company, but making this design more readily available by going to Taiwan factory. The cool thing about this particular one, though, is the only thing that is made in Taiwan is actually the blade. Everything else you see on here is U.S. made. And that was because I was able to get USA made parts for this. This is black, white, and blue carbon fiber. It is thicker than the scales that normally come with it. The other ones are like Gravity. They make it light to make it thinner. But I personally don't care for a knife that is thin this way and this way. The ergonomics are not nearly as good when it's a thicker profile here. So the best way to get good ergonomics of any design is either have it thick this way, so it takes up more of your hand, or have it wider. But if you have it where it's thin on both dimensions, yes, it's easier to carry. It's normally lighter, but it's also gonna be not nearly as comfortable in the hand. And especially if you're cutting for a long period of time, you're gonna notice really quickly that it's just not that comfortable. Yes, it may be easy to carry. It may fit nice in your pocket, but what matters is that when it's in your hand and in use. So this being a thicker scales now is much nicer. So this is American designed, by American company, but outsourced to Taiwan, which is better than outsourcing it to China and other places like that. Personally, I like to either be U.S. made or at least a friendly of the U.S., if that makes any sense. This blade is AUS 10A, which is basically the equivalent of D2. And these, but the thing is, to be frank with you guys, the normal 20.5 goes for $150 for D2 or for AUS 10A. That's a little much. And that's just the reality. It's pushing the limit. It's pushing the very edge of how much you should pay for this steel. But in reality, if you're buying this, you're not buying it for the steel, you're buying it for the design, the strength of the shark lock right here, and supporting Demko. And any way they can, because if they sell more of these, they can make more of the full-on American-made 8020s and other fullers they make, 8010s, 8050, all of that. They can make more of those. So in a way, you're supporting an American company to also be able to do more American-made knives. So you can look at it that way, however you want. But these scales right here are American-made and all the other stuff. So to get the extra stuff on top of the knife itself, to make it pretty much 90% American-made except for the blade, it costs another $150. So this guy right here is at the $300 mark, which is almost pushing into Hinderer level of cost. And so for what you get overall, with the fit and finish, with the overall build, with the materials you get, is it worth it? It is high. It is 100% high. In fact, I would happily pay this if this was a better steel, just flat out, just in general, and fully US made for that price. And if the fit and finish was a little bit better, it would be more understandable. But speaking of other knives, let's do a few size comparisons. That way you can get a good idea of its size. This is a Spyderco Shaman. So if we're talking sharpened blade length, they're about the same. But as you can tell, the overall size of everything, this has a clear, larger blade and roughly the same handle length. So take that however you want to. Then you got the Rat 1. And then we're gonna do the Kershaw bare knuckle. And I'm gonna do a few other brands that are recognizable. The Benchmade 940. What's crazy is these two are the same. Actually, this is cheaper, believe it or not. An S90V. This is cheaper by about $20, but still, like, personally, for price, I'd rather have this. And just for the price, for what you get, for the capabilities of both, I'd rather have the 940 here. Now, let's look at some higher end stuff for size comparisons. But for this one, we're gonna do this just because. There you go. And then let's do. Sorry about the shifting here, but let's do the Strider S&G. There you go. And that'll be it for size comparisons. So the end question is this worth the price? I'm gonna be frank with you guys. No, it's not worth the price. Just if we're talking materials and what you get with the competition surrounding it, other makers and whatnot, no. Though if you get just the normal one and don't upgrade the scales and whatnot for 150, it's pretty darn good. It is still high. I would say it's about $20-$30 more than it should be. But if you want to have an a Demko AD20 kind of style knife, and you want to keep it with the actual right maker, and you're okay with paying a little bit more than you necessarily should for design specifically, then yeah, I would go for it. If you cannot get the real, like the AD20 itself, can't find one or just can't quite afford it, then this is a good one to pick up in that case. You get the design, you get the ergonomics, you get to help out Demko in general. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for best bang for your buck, in this caliber of knife, no, this is I would go to several other options out there for this price. Is it fun? Yes. Is it fidgety? Yes. If you're a collector and price isn't necessarily like too big of a thing to you, I would recommend picking one up. I wanted to get one for that reason, because I just wanted to have one in my collection, and I wanted to also get my hands on the smaller one just to see what it was like. I do plan on getting my hands on a full AD20 later on, and then we'll do a good comparison of the two and see how they compare. But if you're in that boat, then I would totally pick one up. But if you're one of those people that like best bang for your buck, what can you get for a certain price, this is not gonna be your cup of tea. But if you want a Demko knife but can't shell out the price for an AD20 or something like that, then I would totally get this. But if you want to like upgrade the scales, you can make this basically completely American made except for the blade. So that's up to you. But then again, I do like the design. I do like the ergonomics. When it comes to design, the only thing I do not really care about is the clip. And can you guess why? I mean, it's the same thing that the Spyderco Shaman does. Okay, if you're gonna have a lanyard hole, let's find a good example here. If you're gonna do a lanyard hole, I know this is a completely different price range, but this is a good on the Norseman. This is a good idea. Put it here or put it like up here. away from the pocket clip so the pocket clip can go up higher. And then you can get it in your pocket, have that lanyard hole, and also have more of a deep carry. Makes it just fit in your pocket easier. There's not a ton sticking out. But that's one of the things that I never get when you have a lanyard hole that takes priority over your pocket clip. Doesn't really make sense to me at all. I could do with or without this hole. It does work for opening if you do want to do that. I can't get it for whatever reason. But see, it does work that way too. This is very smooth. Ooh. How did the edge take that? Just fine. Just fine. And this guy is perfectly okay too. But do I like the scales here? Oh yes, I like these scales a lot. But then again, there's not really much more I can really add to this. It's really for either a collector or a knife enthusiast that wants to just add it to their collection, wants to even make it a user, or heavy user. It's great for that. Or if you want to, or if you just want to get an 80-20, but can't actually get an 80-20, the 80-20.5 is a good pickup. But yeah, there's not really much else I can say, to be honest. The only other thing I might compare to is the overall thickness. Let's compare it to the Rat 1 here, thickness wise. With these scales in particular, it is about dead on the same thickness. Now, like the Shaman though, yeah, I would say it's really close. It might be a hair thinner. I mean, a hair. It's pretty close. They're pretty even. You wouldn't really notice the difference, to be honest, with those two. But like, let's say, like something people might also have is the 940. It is a decent amount thicker. Yeah, look at that. You can kind of see it. So this is quite a bit thicker. It is quite a bit wider, but it's about the same width as a Shaman. It is thicker than your, or wider than your Rat 1. But that's really all I got for size comparisons and overall about this. But again, some people want it, some people won't. Some people will hate this for the price. Some people will think it's silly the price, way overpriced. Some people will like it's fine. It just kind of depends. Do I like it? Yes. Do I think it's a good knife? Yes. Is the price questionable? Yes. Yes, it is. But that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have a great Memorial Day, and remember what this day stands for. I'll see you guys in the next one. You have a great rest of your day. See ya.